Americans typically view a presidential pardon as somebody getting out of prison, right? The president pardons you, you're in prison, you get out of prison, you're good, go home, right? That's kind of like the general viewpoint. A pardon could also be used to wipe off the record of somebody that already served their time, that was convicted of something years and years and years ago and served their time, and the president pardons them. In other words, their name is good again. There's also something else that the president can use when it comes to the pardon. They can pardon you for the crime that you committed, but they can also use the pardon to wipe out the debt that you owe for the crime that you committed. And that is something that Donald Trump is using quite a lot in this second term. He is pardoning white-collar criminals that defrauded people and investors and financial institutions to the tune of millions of dollars. And instead of just pardoning them for their crime, but leaving it so that they have to owe the money that they defrauded out of people, he's using the pardon power to wipe out their debt as well. Watch this.
Donald Trump has now forgiven over $1.3 billion in debts owed to victims of white-collar crime using his pardon power. I'm Liz Oyer, the former pardon attorney for the Department of Justice. Donald Trump has been granting pardons to people who have defrauded and cheated others to get rich. The pardons have the effect of wiping out the legal obligation to repay the debt. Many of these people owe millions of dollars to their victims. They include Trevor Milton, who stole over $600 million from investors in his business. The Chrisleys, who owe over $22 million to banks that they defrauded. Michelle Fiore, who stole money from a police memorial fund and used it for plastic surgery. And Paul Walsack, who skimmed money off the top of his employees' paychecks and used it to buy a multi-million-dollar yacht. I'm keeping tabs on all of these. The full list is posted on my Substack. You can find it at lawyeroyer.com. Some of you have asked if this is unusual. Yes, it is unprecedented in our history. Pardons are usually reserved for people who have paid their debts to society and shown remorse for their crime. How do we know that? Well, there's a long-standing rule book published by the Department of Justice called the Justice Manual that actually says that. It's available online. You can review it yourself. I know some of you will ask, what about Biden's pardons? Joe Biden did not use the pardon power to wipe out debts owed to victims of crimes. I'll have more details on that in my next post. In the meantime, you can subscribe to my Substack to learn more.
So, a man who has a decades-long history of fucking over people financially, small contractors, drywallers and electricians and plumbers and people of that nature. Donald Trump has fucked over countless people financially for decades upon decades upon decades. And now that he's president of the United States, he's using his powers to continue to fuck over people financially, to get his rich friends out of trouble and wipe their debts clean. So even to this day, more and more and more people get financially fucked by the decisions of Donald Trump. The fact that any of you support this man is a fucking joke.